Hello everybody, this is City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm back with another layout that I made using the February My Creative Scrapbook limited edition kit. This month the kit includes papers and embellishments from the Blue Fern Studios Passages collection. For this layout I'm using a photo of my two daughters, and I took this photo several years ago when we went to Provincetown, which is in Cape Cod in Massachusetts. I mounted the photo on a journaling card. You can see I already cut out a hot air balloon from that journaling card. And now I am popping it up on some remnants of chipboard just to give it a little bit of height off the page. That card that says Explore More was from one of the pattern papers. It was a cut apart sheet. And I'm just inking the edges. And I actually don't recommend inking the edges the way I'm doing this. I'm using some Tim Holtz Distress Ink little mini ink pads, and they are saturated because I use the re-inker on them. I used to use them all the time and there was only a little bit of ink, but now there's a little too much ink. And it looks fine on the layout, but it dries really slowly, so sometimes the ink gets all over. So unless your ink pad is really a little drier than when you first get it, I feel like there's better ways of spreading ink around or inking your edges. But in the end, it worked out, so that's all that matters. I fussy cut out some flowers, the ones that I'm holding in my hand right now, and the ones on the bottom and the top of the photo. Those are also fussy cut out from some of the papers. And the globe is a piece of ephemera. There's a ticket that's a piece of ephemera, and that compass that's on the left, that pink compass, that was fussy cut out of a journaling card. There were journaling cards that were included in the kit. I got a lot of use out of those journaling cards. There were a lot of images and titles on them, and they went a long way. Now I'm cutting out a little phrase that says, "Every mile is a new memory." So I'm just trying to get into all the little nooks and crannies there and trying to fussy cut it out. And I just couldn't avoid cutting off the every word. That had to be cut off, but the rest of it remained a unit. So I'm inking around the edges, but I don't want to get the ink all over the paper, so I'm putting them off to the side until they dry. And here I'm just trimming these flowers a little bit more before inking them. And I've said this in some of my other videos, I really love the way this collection is travel themed, but it's such bright, beautiful colors. On this particular layout, or this piece of pattern paper that I'm using in the background, I just love that little bird that's on the bottom right-hand corner of the layout, and I am very careful not to cover her or him up as I'm adding embellishments to the background. I pulled all of the little banners out of the ephemera pack, and I'm going to line those up along the top to make a banner in the upper right-hand corner. And I'm popping them all up on some foam, and then I'm using some ATG adhesive to attach them down to the page. Now, I believe that that ink has dried. That's on all of the fussy cut and ephemera pieces, so I think it's safe to return them to the layout. I'm also inking the edges and trying to get inside the phrase that I'm putting in that lower left-hand corner. I just love the way this collection had so many of those little phrases. Some of them were on the pattern papers and some were on the journaling cards, and I included them on several of my layouts. Now I'm going to take all of the ephemera and fussy cut pieces and the photo and that cut apart card, and I'm going to attach everything together into one unit so that I can manipulate it and move it around. I'm going to put some mixed media in the background, so this way I can just remove that whole piece and put some mixed media behind it. And I could also move it back on top of the mixed media to make sure that I have mixed media in the right places. So I'm just using my ATG adhesive to do that. And I'm also attaching that phrase down in the bottom because I don't want to lose track of it, especially since I have that one word that is separate. I don't want to lose that. Now I'm using some of the beautiful Prima flowers that are in the kit, and I'm spreading those around and just trying to figure out where I think they should go. I always try to put different sizes together, and I always try to have different size clusters. I don't want them to all be exactly the same, but I do want to have them weighted, so I don't want to have too much blue in one cluster and then none in another. And I use some ATG adhesive to attach those. They won't stay forever with that, so I later go back and use some heavy duty adhesive gel, medium. And now I traced around the photo and all of the embellishments so that I can decide where to put the mixed media in the background. And I'm just going to be putting a little bit of modeling paste. I mix together modeling paste. I use the Crafter's Workshop modeling paste, and I mix that with some white stencil paint, and that way the modeling paste is a nice crisp white. And I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to cover up too many of the images. I know that a lot of that is going to be covered up, but I do want to add a little something to the background, but I really don't need to add any sprays or anything because the background is, it already has so much character and variety of color. So you can see I just added the modeling paste to a couple of places. I did not cover up my little bird there. And right there I'm popping up a butterfly on some foam and attaching it down. I think originally I had 2 butterflies, but I lost track of one. Sometimes these pieces of paper are so tiny and I need a better system for keeping them put until I get them attached down. So here I'm putting some photo corners on the photo. I decided to layer up a blue and a pink photo corner. And then here's where I'm going in with some of that heavy duty gel medium. But first, I brush it all over the flowers, and I'm so sorry that diamond dust is off camera. It's right there to the left. Diamond dust is clear and it's super sparkly. My understanding is it is very, very finely ground up glass, so I would say you probably have to be careful with it, but it is just so beautiful, and I kind of feel like it outshines other glitters. So I am at the same time getting the tops of the flowers covered in the diamond dust, and then I'm also gluing them down to the layout. But notice the way I'm still keeping everything on top of that big large unit or cluster. Now I'm adding some bows from my stash. They are white bows and they have a little pearl on them, and I'm also using the heavy duty gel medium to attach those. And these are branches that I die cut using a die that I have in my stash and a paper that was in the kit. There was a piece of Bow Bunny paper and it matched in perfectly with the collection, and I really like cutting things out using my dies when I'm using a pattern paper that matches the papers that I'm using on my layout. I feel like it adds something extra than just using cardstock. So I'm just arranging those around. It takes a little bit of time for me to get them just the way I want them. And one side of the paper was kind of a off-white or creamish color, and the other side had some brown touches. So I had a choice of which color I wanted to use. I wanted to use these stamps. These stamps were also included in the kit. I wanted to make a postcard using this one stamp that I just used, and I was thinking of using this postmark as well. I end up just using, though, the little postcard. And here I am stamping on some pattern paper, which I also like the way that that looks, because I feel like it just automatically ties whatever you make in with the layout. So I'm just cutting it out, and I decide to put it on the top of the Explore More card. Now I'm going in with some pearls, and I'm just going to add the white pearls to this layout. I'm using some more of the heavy duty gel medium to attach them down. First, I go in with the larger pearls, and I add some medium ones, and a little bit later on I'm going to add some small ones as well. And after I add in this first round of pearls, I use the gel medium to attach down all those branches that I just placed. I like the heavy duty gel medium because it is totally clear when it dries, and that's something I always look for in an adhesive. I can be kind of messy, so I really don't want to have something that has any kind of a sheen or glossy finish. Even the regular glue that I use, it's a glue gel, and it also dries clear with no sheen and no color at all, and that's my personal choice for glue. Now you can see that I'm going back in with some more pearls. I like to put pearls in little corners or little places where it just looks a little bit empty. I like to put the pearls very close to the embellishments that are already there. I want to enhance the flowers and the other embellishments with the pearls. I'm not trying to create a new area with them. So at first I was using some large pearls that I bought individually. Now I'm trying out this mix that I bought a while back. It's just a bunch of different size pearls. So I'm kind of using them as almost like art stones, where I'm taking a whole bunch of different size small pearls and I'm using those to embellish the layout. I covered up my photo and I am splattering some white splatters around the layout. You can see I also covered up that little bird because I don't want it to have a big white splatter on it. And then I remembered that I wanted to put some black splatters as well, so I covered the bird back up again. And I just want a couple of little just a couple of little black splatters, not a lot, and I'm proud of myself. I didn't overdo it. I can overdo it sometimes. And now I'm going in with some small pink pearls. This pale pink is, I think, a great match for this collection. I put some on the banner and I'm putting some on the photo corners. And now I am going back and I am painting those leaves. Now, I already have some that are glued onto the layout, and I actually did this a while after I completed the layout, a good while. I looked at the layout again and I thought it looks a little plain. So I took more of those leaves that I had die cut out. I had by this point had die cut out more leaves for a different layout, and I am coloring them green. I just picked up these Reese. They're called creams, and they are pretty and sparkly and shimmery, but you can use any watercolor, any water-soluble crayon, any sprays, anything that you have. And I thought that this color green would go really well with the collection. So I'm not only adding new leaves that are colored green, I'm also going back to the leaves that I put down earlier, and I'm adding a little bit of green, just a tint to those. And when I glue down the branches or the leaves, I don't glue them at the edges. I usually just glue them at the base, and in that way they're still a little bit loose, and I just like that they're not glued down flat to the page. And you could see some of those leaf branches are very, very long. So I'm cutting those in half and using both halves of them. And as I was putting the leaves down, I was thinking about how much I miss traveling. My family doesn't really go on any super fancy vacations, but we do really enjoy that opportunity to get away, experience something new, and I really miss that. I hope that will be back on the table fairly soon. It's been a little harder to travel anyway as the kids have gotten older. They have jobs, they have summer classes, they have other obligations that they didn't have when they were younger. But I'm hoping that we can coordinate our schedules and plan a vacation as soon as that's possible. I do really miss it, as I'm sure most people do. Once I'm all done painting the leaves, I go back to that phrase that's in the lower left-hand corner, and I decide that I want to pop that up on some foam. I did that on another layout, and I really liked the way that it looked, so I thought that that would be a good addition to the layout. And then I also go in with my glue, and I glue down all of those leaves that I've just added. And you could see here how I'm just gluing the leaves at the base and not gluing the whole leaf down to the layout. And that's that glue that I like, that Elmer's Craft Bond gel glue. I missed one little spot and decided to add one more leaf on the side there. I thought that side area looked a little barren. I placed that last leaf and then I glue it down, and that is the last touch on this layout. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope if you like this video, you will give it a thumbs up. In the description box, you'll find a link to the My Creative Scrapbook website. Head on over there to check out all of the beautiful kits that they have available. This is the limited edition kit, but they have so many kits available. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of my current subscribers, and thank you to everybody for all your views and your likes and for your sweet comments. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.